Listen, it's better to be alone than to be in bad company. Okay? At least when you're alone, you can think, okay? Dream, reflect, consider different things, rest, okay? Just spend time with yourself in general, okay? Versus, granted, relationships, having relationships is a good thing. Having relationships is healthy. Okay, as human beings, we are social creatures. We are designed to be with others, to be and grow within communities, okay, of people. However, sometimes it's not always easy to, how to put it, it's not always easy to find your place in the environment that you're in. Okay, let's say that. Because oftentimes you don't choose the family that you're born into. You don't choose your neighborhood oftentimes, especially if you grew up, you were born and then you grew up in a particular environment and it is what it is. Okay? And more often than not, no one is going to pick you up and pluck you somewhere else, like pluck you out of your immediate environment to place you in some other place, in some other location. More often than not, you're the one that has to do that, right? You're the one that has to uproot yourself out of where you are if it's not, serving you for one reason or another, and put yourself in a better, more suitable space. Okay, but that takes work. Okay, that takes planning. That takes vision. Okay. Most of us are not in the position to just get up and go. Most of us have to work. Like there are some logistics involved in things that you have to do. So you have to work, you have to put money aside, you have to look at, do some research, look at other environments, and decide, where you might fit in a little bit better. And there are logistics and other things to consider, not just who's around you, but just other factors. Weather, okay, something as basic as the weather, something as basic as the convenience, what's there in terms of lifestyle, food activities, okay, jobs and things like that. So there are other things to consider before you can remove yourself and put yourself somewhere else. Not to mention, the internal considerations that you have to make for yourself. Like, for example, what is your personality like? What are you into? What are the activities that you would like to participate in? Where are you at emotionally? Can you even afford to emotion? Not from a financial standpoint, from an emotional standpoint. Can you afford a big transition right now? Okay, that's huge, and people don't often talk about that. But are you in the mental and emotional space to embark on a new journey right now? Or yes, you want to start a new chapter. Yes, you want to make a move. Yes, you want change. But you know what? Right now, you just don't have the energy. Okay? Right now, you just don't have the capacity to take on a new project right now, which this would be a new project. Okay? Changing location. I don't care if it's down the street. Changing location is a project, and it's going to take some getting used to. It's going to take some adjustments, and that's okay. That's normal. Are you ready for it? So it's okay to be with yourself for a while. It's okay to give yourself the time to think and ponder and reflect and analyze and plan your next move. It's better to be by yourself and do all those things by yourself than to be in the company of people that are not healthy for you. Healthy people can have different meanings, right? It could be in terms of from an emotional standpoint. It could be in terms of how they make you feel, what they bring out of you, how they see you, how you interact, what the dynamics are in the environment, okay, and so many things. So if it doesn't work for you, given that you yourself are not bringing any sort of negativity and bad vibes and negative energy and things like that, assuming that that's not the case, like you're human, okay, you make your mistakes, you have your moments, but for the most part, you show up to the best of your ability. You show up with positive energy and good intentions. Yeah. So assuming that you're not the one that's bringing the energy levels down, that's adding, or should I say, taking away the value in the interactions, assuming that you are doing your part to show up as the best version of yourself in any sort of relationship, the relationship is considered healthy, or the environment is considered healthy if it brings some sort of a benefit to you, right? If it elevates you in some way, right? If it brings you higher, if it adds value to your life, if it makes you feel good. I mean, let's talk about feeling good. Sometimes we dismiss that and everything comes down to the tangibles, and it's like, do I have more money? Do I have more of this and more of that? Do they give me this privilege? Do I have access to this and that? And that's fine. That's more tangible and something that you can see on the outside. But sometimes it's worth admitting that you get around some people and you just don't feel good. Okay. And many of us have the tendency to overanalyze what that means. Well, they seem like good people. They do this and that other thing. How come I don't feel good around them? Well, yeah, the type A among us can get into, overanalyzing and overthinking. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, at the end of the day, you get around to these people, you just don't feel good. And there's no explanation necessary other than bye. Okay? You don't feel good around them. Admit it to yourself, accept it for what it is, and keep it moving. Okay? Get yourself out of there. Now, it might not be something as drastic as you literally disappear. Because again, as we said earlier, it's not that simple, is it? However, there are little things that you can do. Just remove yourself from their immediate presence. For example, if you know their schedule, you work around it. If they're morning people, you function at night. If they're a night person, you function in the morning. You make sure that you avoid interacting with them in the same space, because energy is contagious. Energy is contagious. I don't care how stable you think you are, or righteous you might think you are. As social creatures, as human beings, if you are in this space, you will pick up the energy of that space. Period. You're not above anything. Okay, that's another thing that people tend to think. Well, I'm above this. I've worked on myself. Yeah, you worked on yourself, that's true, but worked on yourself enough to recognize where you are. and perhaps even what strategies you need to implement either as you get yourself out of there or to get yourself out of there. But you're still a human being, and you're still subject to the laws of human nature. It's that simple, you're not above anything. So just recognize that gravity applies to all of us, just like everything else. Okay? So if you are in a space in the immediate environment of people that are toxic, energetically, they just don't mesh with you. They don't vibe with you. You stay away from that as much as possible while you make your exit. Okay? So it's okay to be alone for a while. It's okay to focus on you in your next move for a while. In fact, it's healthy. Okay? Those people don't want you. They don't even like you. They want what you have. They want your results. Okay? They want your experience of life, regardless of what it actually is how they perceive it to be. So, for example, you could be, struggling, doing the best you can in everyday life, but you're dealing with illness, you're dealing with your little things here and there on a day-to-day basis. But to them, they think that you have it all figured out, you're thriving, you are doing better than them. They have all this made up story about how well you're doing in their head. Okay? So they want that. They want your experience, perceived so-called experience of life. Whatever they think that you have, that's what they want. And it doesn't even have to be true, as long as it's true for them. That's their perception. Stay away from these people. Okay? They don't have your best interest in mind. And the funny thing is that we don't often acknowledge is that those people are the same people that were once quote unquote friends. Oh man, okay. Quote unquote friends, so called family. Okay. Yeah. Once upon a time, maybe they were that. Okay. But now they're not. Okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt that they were actually who you thought they were, which that's questionable once you see certain things after the fact. But let's pretend, or at least give them the benefit of the doubt, that once upon a time they were true. Okay, well, you know what? People change. They're not true anymore. Okay? Or maybe they are true, but this is the version of their truth. The version of truth that they're living right now is they're out to stifle you. They're out to take what you have, or at least want what you have, or don't want you to have what you do because they don't have it. Okay? They don't have your best interest in mind. People that have your best interest in mind don't have a problem celebrating with you. They don't have a problem sharing with you. They don't have a problem. They're not threatened by your success, so-called success. You know, that's subject to that is subjective, but they they want you to do well. They want you to have the best experience of life that is possible, while they too strive to create a good experience for themselves. So they're on this journey with you, but they don't feel like you are anything. okay, or that they have to take from you in order to validate themselves. So while you are focusing on yourself, it may feel a little bit lonely, a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest. It is uncomfortable. It is, it can feel isolating, okay? But just rest in the fact that it's better to be isolated or feel isolated. It's better to feel like you're not part of a group, so-called group, whether that group is friends, as we mentioned before, or so-called family members. It's better to feel a bit removed from the community temporarily. It's not a permanent state. Okay, temporarily while you make your way. Okay, while you find your people, because I mean there are billions of people on this planet. Somebody wants you, boo. Right? Somebody cares about you. Now you may not have found each other yet, right? You may be on your way. They may be on the other side of the world. It's a big world. Okay, they're not gonna be your neighbor necessarily. The person may not live. Your person may not live down the street necessarily. They could, and you just don't know it yet. But you just wait. You just take your actions. Make your steps. Do what you need to do, and you just wait. In due time, you will find each other. You'll find your path on the path that you are creating for yourselves. Because while you're working on your path, that person is working on their path too. How do you know? Well, you are like-minded people, so it's definite. You need to find each other. It needs to happen. Because you're not gonna stay with losers for the rest of your life, right? No, you're not gonna stay with the jealous people for the rest of your life, right? You're not gonna stick around for those. You're just there temporarily. And by the way, they should be, if they were smart, okay, the so-called people that you have in your environment that are pretty much taking you for granted, if they were smart, they would actually shape up and actually not try to make you feel that way. Because once you're done with them, you're done. Okay, once you make your move, you're out. And then they're gonna wish that they had treated you better. Watch. They're gonna wish that they had been better friends. Okay, so focus on you. Do what you need to do for yourself, and let them have their way. Okay, let them enjoy their hate. Let them fester in their anger. Okay, their petty conversations, have fake laughs and fake relationships. Let them do that. Let them do their pretending. Let them. Okay, you remove yourself from that space slowly but surely, because that energy, that negative energy, it is wearing on you. Again, like we said, you're not above anything. It is wearing on you. So stay away from that. You just recognize that you are a human being designed to thrive in a certain environment. If that environment doesn't meet certain criteria, you're gonna suffer. Okay? Just like anything else in nature. If the environment is not suitable for the thing to grow in, it's going to wither and die. Stay away from bad energy. Stay away from energy vampires, as they like to put it. They're not good for you. And that those vampires could be overt, like in your face, actively targeting you, or they could be passive aggressive, like creating, making the environment uncomfortable for you in their actions, in their behavior, etc. Why is it better to be alone? Because you don't want to deal with what's on the other side of that. On the other side of that, you are going to subject yourself to emotional abuse, really, okay, by basically presenting. You know you're uncomfortable. You know you don't feel good around these people. Why would you present yourself to them? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. You do what you have to do. If you have to share space, you come in, share the space. You're in and out, but you're not lingering there. Why would you do that? Right? You don't offer yourself to your enemy. Who does that? Okay? You know they're your enemy because they don't have your best interest in mind. Okay? And it starts now. It starts now as maybe just a little comment here and there or bad energy here and there. That's the starting point, by the way. You don't know. Once you see that, you don't need to see anything else because you don't know where that's going. Yeah? You don't know how bad it could become. That's kind of like the little seed. You plant a little seed. It's gonna grow eventually, right? It could grow into something beautiful or something ugly. Okay? So don't let it, you don't need to wait to see uh, something drastic happen. You don't need to wait for them to, poison your drink or while you're, not looking or um, pop your tires while you're, you know, away from your car or something like that or overnight or something like that. You don't need to wait for something outlandish to know where it's going. All you need to see is the first sign. The sign is telling you right now, take the hint. It's telling you, I don't like you. I don't want anything good to happen to you. Take the hint. You already know that person is not on your side. Stay away from those people. Okay? Stay away from those people. So you think you're sad now, being alone and, don't have friends, don't have family. You are in a better position now. At least you're stable. At least you might be emotionally kind of sad for a second, but you have everything else with you, as opposed to being sad and damaged and hurt because you didn't take the hint. Now you went and exposed yourself to these people, or you went to try to overcompensate. Yeah, that's another thing that we do. Overcompensate, knowing that they don't like you, trying to be friend and trying to be extra nice. Why would you be extra nice to somebody who hates you? That doesn't make sense. I know they said talk, turn the other cheek, but no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. You're a decent person. You're not perfect. You try your best. You don't need to turn any other cheek. What you need to do is get yourself out of there. Okay. While you make your transition, though, is limit. That's the key word. Limit your interactions with people that don't like you. It's that simple. Okay. Do what you need to do. Be in and out. Be in and out. Okay. Be efficient. And then hold your head high too. You don't have to bow down in front of these people. You just keep it moving. Get into the space, do what you need to do, and be out. Okay? Just know that your enemy is usually not the person that's walking the street. Okay? Your enemy is not the person that you have to go look for on the other side of town. No. Okay? To hold them accountable. No. Your enemy is usually inside your house. Okay? It's only a matter of time before you discover that. Inside your house, especially if you're from certain, backgrounds, it doesn't take long before people become, start being jealous of you, start having, negative energy towards you, toxic behavior. Be careful with the people that you share space with. Okay? Those are the biggest enemies. Stop running around looking for the stranger on the street. Yeah, they're there, but they're not the ones that you really need to be worried about. The people that you need to be worried about is the people that are sleeping with you. Okay? The people that have access to your home. The people that know your schedule. The people that can tell your business. The people that have information about your lifestyle, likes and dislikes and allergies and preferences. They know the ins and outs of your life. Why wouldn't you be careful with those people? Okay? So don't feel bad by being alone. You are better off alone than in bad company because at least you're safe. By yourself, you are safe. You can think, you can strategize. Okay? There's no one there to sabotage your plan. It's you and yourself and you again. Yeah. As opposed to surrounding yourself with wolves, trying to befriend them. Like, why would you befriend a wolf? That doesn't make any sense. Knowing full well that they don't want you. They may have wanted you at one point. They may have been interested in you in the past. Which now begs the question, well, why were you interested in me in the past in the first place? Yeah, maybe we'll never know. But now they're showing you their true colors. Okay, some years have passed. Now the person that you thought was on your side, the person that you thought was your person, is showing you their true colors. Believe them. People change. They have the right to change. And you're changing. That's okay. The only difference is you're changing for the better. They're changing for the worse. Or they're just showing you who they were all along because they showed up in sheep's clothing initially just to get into your life. Okay, just to get into your life, just to get a seat. A seat to have access and view to your life and your experience. Well, true colors show eventually, and they're now showing their true colors. You're not always going to be able to know who's a real one and who's not. You do the best you can, use your judgment, but sometimes you accept people for what they present to you, for what they present to you in the beginning, and then down the road they show you that they were never that version of themselves that you thought was acceptable to have in your life. Okay? So they have the right to quote unquote change or show up as their real selves, and you have the right to adjust. Do so. Okay? Make your exit as soon as possible. In the meantime, don't be sad. Be glad that you are not mingling with these people because you want to be safe. You want to protect yourself. And you can't protect yourself when you're walking with a bunch of wolves. And when you have a pure heart, you try to be decent, you try to be good to people. And then you're walking around with a bunch of creatures that can stab you in the back at any moment. No. Save yourself, work on yourself, grow yourself, and in due time present yourself to people that are actually deserving of you. Not everyone deserves access to your life. You know it. Make sure they know it.